the most important thing is about your personal and creative fulfillment. I've never worked in an agency, I've never worked in a studio. Taking this concept, I thought this was awesome, but I don't think they resonated with it too much, but I thought this was, he's seeing great success in his business, which is amazing. And then decided enough was enough, and I said, that's it, I'm changing my life. Shapes are modular and interconnected, a visual nod to the way urban environments are structured and designed with careful planning and functionality. You can see the 3D shapes suggest not just surface level aesthetics, but also depth and strategy. Boom, that was another project, signed off, happy, awesome. I've been on that project for 4 months. 4 months, can you believe it? Well, it happens, you know. That's how long a visual identity can take. You know, if you've got to get it right. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And that was a big visual identity. It wasn't just one logo. It was 5 logos that had to be created. It was for a full architecture group with different divisions, different subgroups. So that's as well one of the reasons why it took so long. It wasn't just like creating one logo, that's it. It was creating different variations of that logo and even a completely separate logo. But yeah, super stoked with that, how that came out. And yeah, all done, finished. So yeah, feeling good today. Always feels nice finishing a project, opening the door for a new one, you know. Oh, it's been a bit of a strange week, really. Well, not that strange, but finished a big project that I've been working on. I'm sure a lot of people see you know which project it is. It was Highstone. Finally got round to finishing that. Kind of went in a completely different direction, which was really cool. Sorry if there's a bit of a mess there. So yeah, that got finished. I'm going to show you that in a bit. Show you how it all turned out and stuff. Just going for a run now. I'm on a new sort of run routine, which is I run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, take Friday off, do a long run on Saturday, and then I'm off Sunday. So 5 days a week, doing about 50, 60k. Because I'm training up for a marathon, you see. And but yeah, enjoying the new routine anyway. But like I was saying, I'm up slightly later today because I was reading this book till about midnight, oversubscribed. How to get people lining up to do business with you. Oh, it is unreal. I couldn't. It's very similar to another book I've read called Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. But yeah, I couldn't put it down. It was awesome. So I'm up a bit later today. I have had to push a meeting back because, like I said, I'm up later and but I've got to go for my run. That's a non-negotiable. And the meeting's about we're going to be working on a conceptual project. See, I feel like I'm just talking here. I'm going to go for a run and then we'll swing back into things. Yeah, really excited to get started on this. So let me know what the next steps are, and I'll probably have all the footage over to you by the end of the week. And yeah, let's get it moving. So I wrapped up Highstone Design and Highstone Group project, which you will have seen on one of my earlier videos. One of the concepts I presented. Now you might think, God, that was 4.5 months ago. Which yeah, it took a while to complete, but we got there in the end, and it turned out great. I ended up presenting like 15 different concepts to them, which I never ever do normally. But the way this project was going, it needed that, and I think they needed to see options. You know, they were a company that had been, you know, in business for 30 years. This was a brand new, fresh identity for them. They wanted to be secure on what this mark was going to be. And yeah, we got there in the end and it turned out great. I even took it even further after the client was signed off, brand guidelines sent, and I developed it out into more of an art direction piece for my new studio. But I'll sort of show you where we got with that. Now, I ended up presenting 17 different concepts. Now, this is something I never, ever, ever do. I don't do this, but the way this brand was going, and I could tell, you know, they were a business they'd been around for 30 years. They needed to see options. So I decided to flesh out 16 different marks, which yes, took me a long time, to see which would resemble their business best. So as you can see, they're all very similar. They didn't take so much work. It was the same concept, just displayed slightly different. And then we ended up landing on number 16 here, which is a very geometric mark. And yeah, super stoked that they chose this. But I also want to show you how the Highstone design logo was first designed. So taking this concept and imitating architectural architectural plans, I created this version, which I thought was a winner. I thought this was awesome, but it just, they didn't, I don't think they resonated with it too much, but I thought this was an amazing logo design because, as you can see, it takes this version and creates like an architectural plan version, but that was rejected. So yeah, that's why we went on to the current design logo. But yeah, super stoked how it came out. And then you can see here I created this nice social case study using really nice imagery from death to stock. I wanted to expand the project out a bit further and you know, express my creativity a little bit more with this project. So I created this social case study for Highstone Minds, which is my new studio, by the way, which I'll talk about more later. But I just thought it would be a really good way to present it on social, expanding it out a bit more, having a bit more fun with the imagery, art direction, and what the brand could look like, you know. And yeah, I was super stoked with how that came out. So I've got a call with a client now that I worked with last year, and I've been doing a few jobs for him here and there. He always comes to me needing certain bits and bobs for his brand, but his brand now is really accelerating. And basically I suggested the idea to him about, do you want to get me on a retainer package every month where I'll give you a set amount of my hours every month, and you can come with me to as many requests as you want, and I'll get them done for you. So it's better than him coming to me for odd jobs, me not really not knowing what to charge. It's a bit messy, so I've just suggested the idea of a retainer, and I'm gonna get on a call now, discuss it. See, I see him more as a friend than anything. He's a great guy, and I just want to catch up with him as well, and he's seeing great success in his business, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna see how this goes now.
That was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. You know, he's thinking about capacity management, which is something I've done, but I wasn't thinking about it from this side of the business.
So I put a reel out recently talking about should we niche down as designers. And now my advice is, if you're just starting out as a designer, then no, do not niche down. That's the last thing you want to be doing, whether that's niching down on your style, niching down on what you offer, niching down on the clients you work with. You want to experiment as much as possible in the beginning, and throughout your career you want to experiment as much as possible, because when you experiment, you figure out what you like, you figure out what you enjoy to create. And naturally over time, it's the same with anything. The more reps you put in doing something, you know, one week you could be doing something super illustrative, the next week you could be doing something super modern, and eventually you'll pick up little bits from each style and eventually create your own style, which will be completely unique to you in a way. And you know, you see people say niche down right away, just work in the food industry, just work with sports brands, work with technology brands, whatever it is. And you know, that can leave you boxed in and it can leave you trapped. That you won't know that until you've worked with all those clients to figure out which you want to work with, you know. Like when I first started, I was going to work with just food brands, and it couldn't be anywhere further than that I'd want to do now. I'd feel so unfulfilled if I would have boxed myself in early. Same with my style. My style started very illustrative, playful. I was very nostalgic, looking back at the 80s, 90s, stuff like that. And while I do love that style, when I create that now, it doesn't light me up. I've started to develop my style more. I've moved into a different direction of what I enjoy to create, and it moves on. So, you know, if you're starting out and you say, right, I'm an illustrative designer only working with food brands, you know, what about in 2 years or a year down the line, 6 months down the line, you're like, oh, I'm getting a bit bored now, I'm getting a bit restless, but you feel like that's the only work you have to produce. One, you're going to become very creatively unfulfilled. Two, you'll become burnt out. Three, you won't be working with clients that you resonate with anymore. And that's not what creativity is about. Build your creative ecosystem around you. You're in your career for a very long time. If you're serious about this, if you want to be a designer, For a long time, you have time to figure out what you want to do. You have time to throw paint at the wall and figure out what styles you want to work on. So that's my advice. And then after time, you will start to create a style. I feel like I'm only just starting to create my style now, you know, and yeah, this stems from a lot of the videos I see on Instagram, which is about niching down, which is good advice for maybe certain businesses or whatever, and creatives, but once you've found your own style. So it all depends at what stage you're at in your career. So please don't feel pressured to niche down right away. Just enjoy what you create, because that is the most important. The most important thing is about your personal and creative fulfillment. Everything else comes second to live a career, to live a good long career. We have so much time, and that's what I mean. I get gassed about this. I'm so grateful that there's so much exciting stuff ahead, and this is what we need to get excited about. Social media makes us feel very now. Everything has to be right now, and it does. It leaves us in a box, but we don't realize how fast time goes and how fast our styles develop. You know, if I look at my work from last year, it's completely changed. We have so much time, and we're in our careers for a long time. We really need to nurture that and just have fun. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Still get a lot of people asking me whether I've had any formal design education or I've ever worked in an agency before going freelance. Did I have any experience or anything? How did I actually get into this? Well, the answer is no, I didn't. I've never worked in an agency. I've never worked in a studio. Never been to university for design. Never been to university, full stop. So yeah, that's my answer. I started my journey at the start of 2023. It was the start of 2023 when I decided, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to catapult myself into this world, and I didn't ever think I couldn't make it. Do you know what I mean? I knew I could do what it takes to become a designer. I knew I had it in me, and I've always loved design. I've always been into design. You know, it wasn't like just coming in with no experience of being. I've been doing design for years, but nothing formal, nothing proper, like logo design, visual identity, brand identity. So I just deep dive and started to learn through YouTube videos, people, you know, on Instagram, just learning like that, design books, and then just went hard and just catapulted myself into that world. And when I posted my first video in early 2023, and I landed my first good paying client at the end of 2023 in November, and it's just been non-stop since then. But I just had complete perseverance, and I was so persistent with it because I just knew there was no plan B. I had to make this work. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and I don't know whether it's a good thing. It might have benefited me if maybe worked in a studio for a while. I tried it, but you know, I would never go back and do it differently. You know, I'm only 2 years into my journey. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you're starting out as a designer and you think you've got to pay for these big courses, that's another thing. I've never paid for a course or anything like that. But if you think you want to get into this world and you think, well, how am I going to get in from zero? You just have to, honestly, the most important thing is practicing your craft. You've got to really practice as a designer. That's the most important, and learn things that aren't just design. You have to learn marketing, you have to learn self-development, you have to learn things like that. It's not just about the work you create, it's how you present your work, it's how you present yourself, it's how you show up. That's the stuff that will catapult you a lot quicker. So yeah, I will give a brief breakdown of my entire journey, like the past 2 years, but it's mainly just been, you know, grafting, just trying my hardest to catapult myself into the world, landing clients and things like that. But once you sort of have that big break, it gives you so much confidence. Do you know what I mean? You get a lot of confidence from landing your first big paying client, and it gives you a lot of experience as well to take into your next few clients. But having processes, systems is super important as well. Looking after yourself, looking after your body, looking after your mind to allow you to function at a high level. It's all stuff that links to, you know, what I was talking about with the creative ecosystem, which is something I am absolutely passionate about. And if you've not seen my last video, watch my last video talking about the creative ecosystem, and you'll get an understanding of it. But I'm going to be talking about that a lot more because I truly think it's the absolute pinnacle of what we do and why we do it. and for living a career full of purpose and longevity. And that's the stage I'm at now. Like I said, I've only been doing this 2 years, but I did 1 year of just fully design, and I've just felt so unfulfilled, even though I landed clients and things like that. My creative brain and everything else was itching to do something else and share more of my story. And because I truly believe what my experience from life, where I was losing my dad at 19, 6 years of, alcoholism and having no purpose or hope, and then just decided enough was enough, and I said, that's it, I'm changing my life and I'm becoming a designer, and I'm on a mission now to help people as well who might be feeling a little bit lost or a bit creatively unfulfilled. But yeah, it's been a mad journey. So yeah, I just thought I'd clarify that at the end, because I still get a few messages from people asking, have I ever worked in an agency or gone to university or whatever? No. So yeah, look at this out here, man. This is on my doorstep, and I get to run down here every day and come for a little walk. It's just beautiful. It's a great place to clear the mind as well when you were sat at our desks all the time. And yeah, it's so blessed. Getting outside in nature is one of the most important things you can do for your body and your mind, especially your creative mind, is resetting, hearing the birds, the water. It's just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there today, guys. If you got to the end of this video, comment journey. I'd be much appreciated. And I'll see you next week.